What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Supernova podcast. I'm Darn, and I am joined by Tebow.
Hello.
And today we are talking about do myths and myths about soda in general as well. But first, let's talk about the news. So we are we are rapidly approaching the release date. Oh no. We are rapidly approaching the target date for Liberty Chill, Star Spangled Splash, and Freedom Fusion.
Yes. Very excited
Yeah.
about those. The target date is June 17th. And you'll notice we said target date, not release date. We'll get into that a little bit later. But I have found... It's backwards. That's fine. I've found all three flavors. And I've tried them all. And I thought I'd give my thought. You haven't tried them yet, right, Darn?
No, I have not tried them yet.
So first, of course, Liberty Chill is just renamed Liberty Brew. I forget if we talked about this in the last episode. There's a lot of people that were upset that they renamed Liberty Brew. And I'm under the impression that the reason that they have done this is just to avoid any sort of association with Hard Mountain Dew. Now that, Pepsi has nothing to do with it. That's my assumption.
Yeah, brew, the word is kind of associated a lot with just alcohol in general. And also, I looked up, there is actually a coffee company named Liberty Brew, brewing company. I don't think Pepsi wants to get sued by another coffee company over the name of their product.
Probably just playing it better safe than sorry.
Yeah, and for those who missed out, back when Mountain Dew Energy was a thing, it used to be called Mountain Dew Rise, but then this canned coffee company called Rise, they sued Pepsi over it, and they lost, but then they overturned it, but they still didn't change the name back. And at that point, if you already change it once, why change it back?
And then it flopped.
Then it flopped, so
it
wasn't even worth it anyway.
So we have Liberty Brew, Liberty Chill back. And then we have Freedom Fusion, which is lemonade and peach. And then we have my personal favorite, Star Spangled Splash, which is labeled as red berry, but is raspberry strawberry flavor. Yeah. So, Darn, you've had Liberty Brew at least, right?
I've had Liberty Brew back when it was Liberty Brew, yes.
What are your thoughts on Liberty Brew?
Just too much. I think it's just very sweet, just like punches you in the face with a blue raspberry and cherry flavor, pretty much.
My hot take with Liberty Brew is, I think the whole 50 flavors thing's a lie. You couldn't convince me that there are 50 flavors in Liberty Brew, personally.
Honestly, I could see it. It depends on your definition of a flavor, or like if it's like 50 flavoring agents, they just put a bunch in there. Most of them would probably just contribute to the flavor of blue raspberry, because I think there's like 7 flavors that are in blue raspberry. So if you just, it'll probably add up really quickly if you just count all just flavoring agents instead of just what flavor is it.
That's true. I'm with you. I think it's too much. It kind of just tastes like an amalgamation of a bunch of different berry flavors. Someone in the Discord told me that that it tastes, I'm sure you'll know who I'm talking about, that it tastes like Krabby Patty gummies. And ever since that was said to me, I can't taste anything else. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I still don't love it. Honestly, I think it's my least favorite of the trio. Freedom Fusion really surprised me. I expected to not care for it. I'm not big on peach flavor stuff. And what really surprises me, is it's listed as being lemonade and peach flavor. So to me, to a consumer, you see that and you assume it's going to be very lemonade forward. And it's the exact opposite. It's very peach forward. Probably 80%, 85% peach to the rest lemonade. And it's a very natural peach flavor. It's really good. Even though I don't really like peach flavor, I really enjoyed it. Really surprised me.
As someone who loves peach flavored things, I am looking forward to it for sure.
And
But
actually,
speaking of that, oh sorry,
Hey.
keep going.
we're same wavelength. Go ahead. Go ahead. Take it.
Yeah, speaking of Freedom Fusion, we're also going to be seeing a Slurpee at 7-Eleven for Freedom Fusion.
Which
Uh,
that's incredibly exciting.
That is very exciting, yeah. I feel like all three of the patriotic flavors, they do feel like they would lend themselves very well with Slurpee, so I'm not surprised that they're making one.
I know there was a lot of people that were disappointed that it's not Liberty Chill that's getting the Slurpee, but honestly, I'm kind of excited to see it be one of the other two instead. I kind of wish it would be Star Spangled Splash, but I agree with you. I think that Freedom Fusion will lend itself very well to a Slurpee. I'm looking forward to finding that.
Speaking of peach flavored Slurpees, there is a possibility that we might be seeing Sweet Lightning as a freeze at KFC at some point in the future.
Yes.
I hear that they may be installing like freeze machines there. So as one of the flavors that'll be there, I think it's like Pepsi and something else.
Some like
I could be wrong though.
I think it was like a blue raspberry icy. It was like a generic icy flavor was the third one or something.
Yeah, something generic. And then, Sweet Lightning as well. And yeah, I think Sweet Lightning could work pretty well as a Slurpee. Or as a freeze, I mean, not a Slurpee. Slurpee's the 7-Eleven brand name.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, but they can't really half diet isn't really a thing in Slurpee flavors, right?
Actually, I think it is. In Canada, we have Crush Cream Soda Light Slurpees at 7-Eleven, which is a
interesting
reduced calorie cream soda. Like the Crush Cream Soda, the pink one in Canada. I think there's an orange one too.
Interesting. Well, I stand corrected. I was going to say maybe they would reformulate it. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be the same formula anyway, but
it's on PepsiCo product facts. It doesn't look like it is a half diet. It looks like full sugar. It has 26 grams of sugar per 12 ounces, but for a freeze, it's always lower. Let me compare that to Blue Shock. Blue Shock's 23, so yeah, it's around the
wow.
So it has more sugar than Blue Shock Freeze. Or actually, I guess regular Mountain Dew would be the better comparison. 24 grams of sugar for 12 ounces. Yeah, so the Sweet Lightning Freeze, it will not be half diet.
Then I especially bet that would lend itself very well to a freeze. That would make me very excited to give that a try. I bet especially if it was full sugar, that would really probably make the honey flavor come out a little bit more.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So now I'm even more excited for that than I was before.
I forget how many stores I made the graphic. I don't remember how many stores they were testing it in. What is it, like 250 or something?
250 stores? Okay, that's not bad.
Something like that. Hopefully, something like that seems like it'll be well received. So hopefully they do it everywhere. That'd be really cool.
It is 75 locations.
And then speaking of Sweet Lightning, we're also seeing a tropical passion fruit Sweet Lightning.
Yes. Replacing the blackberry Sweet Lightning that we also didn't talk about last time. KFC has been trying some different drink menus that you can get flavor mix-ins with, of course, Mountain Dew Sweet Lightning, Starry, lemonade, iced tea, sometimes Pepsi.
I think they're marketing specifically the lemonade, like it's the tropical passion fruit lemonade, and then as a side effect of that, you're seeing the syrup being added to other soft drinks.
Right.
Yeah, that does sound really good. I missed out on the blackberry one.
The blackberry was really good. I'm pretty indifferent when it comes to Sweet Lightning. There's a lot of people that passionately hate Sweet Lightning. I wouldn't say I'm a Sweet Lightning hater, but I also don't love it. But Blackberry really lended itself well to the Sweet Lightning. I would say it raised it in an entire tier for me. You know, it really brought out the honey flavor even more, which is my biggest complaint about Sweet Lightning, is that I don't really get the honey flavor from it.
And how would you compare that to tropical passion fruit?
The tropical passion fruit is really good. I don't think I like it quite as much as the blackberry. But I think that is just because I don't like peach. I think just because, you know, passion fruit and peach are kind of like complementary flavors. The passion fruit really brings out the peach instead of the honey. So if I liked peach more, this would probably be better to me, but it is still really good.
And then speaking of KFC, we saw on Reddit a KFC and A&W combination restaurant that got Baja Blast on tap.
Yes. Forgot about
Yeah,
that.
so yeah. So I think that's just a side effect of how Baja Blast is no longer exclusive to Taco Bell. It seems that the fountain version is getting that treatment as well. So KFC, A&W getting Baja Blast, that is... I guess it doesn't surprise me that would be the first one to get it, but it just doesn't feel right to see Fountain Baja Blast anywhere else.
I'm still surprised that that Taco Bell was willing to give up their exclusivity rights of Baja Blast, but I also don't think that it's ever going to leave Taco Bell either. No matter where else it is.
Yeah, Taco Bell Baja Blast works just so well with Taco Bell food.
I will be curious to see if the Paloma Punch next year pairs better or worse with Taco Bell than Baja Blast.
Oh yeah, speaking of Paloma Punch, there was another flavor that was leaked for Baja 2025, I believe.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that, did we?
No, we didn't. I think it was like
Cabo Citrus.
Cabo Citrus, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a survey that Mountain Dew was running, and someone leaked it on Facebook. Which, first of all, let me just say, you know, if you're ever doing surveys like that, be very careful what you post where, because Pepsi will get mad at you and they will come after you over that. I'm not saying you have to send your leaks to me, but definitely find some way that can be leaked anonymously to protect yourself. That's the same reason why I never cite my sources. It's not that I, don't want to, just for their own good.
So what was that flavor again? I think it was like lime, grapefruit, orange?
Orange mango.
Oh, okay, yeah. That sounds very good.
Which is interesting to me because it's half of the fruits that are on Paloma Punch.
Yeah.
Grapefruit and lime. But then with the addition of mango and then orange.
It could be that Cabo might be replacing Paloma Punch in the future. It could be that maybe it's releasing instead, or maybe they're releasing together or like separately. We don't really know what's happening. It's
not a lot of info on that one yet, unfortunately.
And then speaking of the Bajas, we did forget last episode to talk about the Doritos. Baja Fiery Mango Doritos.
A lot of people... Did you try them? A lot of people didn't like them.
I have not tried them.
I love them.
You love them?
Yeah, I love them. A lot of people don't. A lot of people think they're gross. Some people said they gagged at them. I think that's a little bit dramatic. But, I like them. Definitely a nice heat behind them. And I think it captures the mango flavor well without being too out there, I guess you could say. It is weird because you definitely get like that Baja flavor in the chips, but it's not a lot. It's just a tiny little hint of it.
That's interesting.
These, I think, are basically on their way out. I know we never really got like any sort of window for them, but I was told that they're not being produced anymore, so it's just a matter of when stores sell through them.
Yeah. And that is also the case currently with the Baja flavors that released this spring.
Yes.
Yeah. Even though they are summer themed flavors, they are on their way out just before the summer.
The second year in a row, Mountain Dew's done that after summer freeze.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, summer freeze, at least in Canada, is sticking around throughout the summer, though. Or it's supposed to.
Yes.
Whether it does or not, that is yet to be seen.
Another question. Oh, to jump back to the patriotic flavors really quick. I realized I didn't talk about Star Spangled Splash. I didn't give my thoughts on it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. What were your thoughts on Star Spangled Splash?
So Star Spangled Splash is... I've hyped it up to a lot of people. A lot of people. I know I hyped it up to you.
Yep, you sure did.
Star Spangled Splash is my favorite flavor that Mountain Dew has released in the last 10 years. Definitely a top 5 flavor. At some point soon, I'm going to be cracking open a Supernova, a Pitch Black, and a Citrus Cherry just to see. I don't think it's going to crack my top 3, but maybe. I am a huge enjoyer of strawberry, as evidenced by, the fact that I love Supernova. And Star Spangled Splash is just very, very strawberry forward.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
It's incredible.
Makes sense as to why you like it so much. I heard that the raspberry might taste a bit like Voltage, and I was wondering how that also contributes to how much you enjoy it.
I can kind of see the raspberry is super subtle. So I don't think I picked up on it like when I had initially tried it, but then when you mentioned that to me the other night, like I can definitely kind of taste it. The raspberry kind of takes the backseat. It's kind of just in the aftertaste, honestly.
Oh yeah, speaking of raspberry, Panox has tried the Korean Blue Zero Sugar.
Yes.
And he says that tastes like Voltage Zero Sugar.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that is very exciting. Voltage fans who've always been wanting a zero sugar flavor, this might be it. This might actually just genuinely be Voltage Zero Sugar.
So at some point, we'll probably end up doing it on the show. We'll be trying some Mountain Dew Blue Zero Sugar. I'm looking forward to trying it.
Oh yeah. Speaking of the show, we forgot to mention that this podcast is now in video.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't actually verbally acknowledged that yet. Yeah, we're on video right now. Hi. Yeah, this episode and last episode, you could see both of them in video on Spotify or on YouTube. So just look up the Team Supernova podcast on Spotify or on YouTube. You'll find us.
Yeah.
Our YouTube's been popping off a lot more than we expected.
Yeah, it almost has more subscribers than the regular Team Supernova YouTube already.
Yeah. Thanks for enjoying it, though. Thanks for enjoying the podcast in video. Thank you for enjoying it on audio too. If you're on iHeartRadio, Apple, or any of the other podcasting platforms, glad to have you. So Tebow, these myths on the internet about Dew and about soda in general, they're one of your biggest pet peeves, aren't they?
That would be correct. That would be correct.
Yeah. So what is one of the myths that you see commonly around that you would like to bust?
We teased it earlier in the episode. I think one of the biggest ones for me is target dates versus release dates.
Yeah.
Right. So every single time a new product comes out, I always see everywhere, when's the release date? When's the official release date? When am I going to be able to get it? When are all the stores going to have it? Etc. 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 And a lot of times, I post about the target dates, and I'm always very careful to use the phrase target date whenever I post it. People will take that date and say, "Oh yeah, this is the release date." So the problem with that is that it's not like, music or video game or movie. With those, you kind of know on that date, I can go to Walmart and get a new movie that just released. I can't go to Walmart and get it a week before that date. It's it's not the case with, the new flavors, right? Like the target date supposedly was the 17th for the patriotic flavors. We're kind of wondering if it was moved up a week, since they officially announced it today. But either way, we've been finding them for the last week or so. And if it was an official release date, that wouldn't be the case. So what does target date mean? Basically, it just means that's the day that Pepsi has set out, to say, all right, this is when we want to try to have it everywhere by. Is it going to be everywhere? No. Some people will have it 2 weeks after the date. But I will say, I don't know if you've noticed it too, Darn. The patriotic flavors have been spreading out very fast compared to some of the other drops.
Yeah. For whatever reason, it's been like releasing like very, very just widely everywhere, and it's not even the target date yet.
I lost track. I stopped doing it because there were so many sightings in the last couple days. But I was taking all of the sightings from Reddit, Facebook, and Discord and plotting them all on a map. And as of like 2 days ago, it was already in half the country, state-wise, which is really impressive.
Shoutouts to PepsiCo for actually releasing a flavor early, like almost everywhere.
Now they should do it with Game Fuel next.
Yeah, they should do it with Game Fuel. I really hope, I have high hopes that they will actually use the sales numbers from last year's Game Fuel release and actually make them more available for sure.
If I don't have an opportunity to stock up on some Midnight Mission, I'm gonna be a little bit sad about it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Midnight Mission still. But anyway, I think I will just crack open. I'm a little thirsty, so I think I'll just make some Baja Blast real quick. So this is a myth that I hear all too often, where if you mix regular Mountain Dew and the Mountain Berry Blast Blue Powerade, I got this from the US actually because in Canada it's a different flavor. But apparently if you mix these, you will get Baja Blast. And that just sounds so wrong to me in so many ways. But I will try it. I just kind of eyeballed it about 50-50. I'm not sure.
I think that's what they say.
Yeah. I mean, either 50-50 or... Wait. Okay, no.
The color's pretty spot on though, right?
Yeah, I don't think I could get that good of a look at the color. It's a bit swamp green. I think I need more Mountain Dew regular to get the color right. And also it's dark. Yeah, it looks like swamp green.
But doesn't taste like Baja.
Nope. It does not. It kind of smells like Baja Blast. Which I think that might just be why a lot of people think it's Baja Blast, because it smells.
Since smell kind of influences taste.
Yeah.
The most interesting thing to me about this, right, is first of all, why would Pepsi use a Coke product?
Yeah.
Second of all, why would they use a sports drink?
I mean, hey, I did hear that if you mix 50-50 regular Mountain Dew and the lemon lime Gatorade, it does taste like that 90s Mountain Dew sport drink from like so long ago that hasn't even been released since 91, I think.
That's right. We're gonna have to try that.
Yeah, we'll have to try that in another episode. Maybe we'll have like a big mixing episode coming up soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, this just tastes like Powerade. I'm just tasting the Powerade part of it.
So you would say myth busted?
Yeah, myth busted, absolutely.
A super obnoxious effect of the Mythbusters busted.
I mean, I probably could look that up. Look up a green screen of that, put that up there. Myth busted. But yeah, no, it is not. It does not taste remotely like it. It does not taste remotely like Baja Blast. There's no reason to do this mix anyway, because Baja Blast is permanent. And that does lead us into our next myth. You know, well, Baja Blast, it's supposed to be a year, right? They are only marketing it for a year.
I forgot that this is my new actual pet peeve. The amount of times, the amount of things that we have seen that have backed up the fact that Baja Blast is permanent. An additional thing that we're going to get into in a little bit that will further prove that it's permanent. It's all the signs that it's permanent, and people still don't believe that it's permanent.
No. I think they're just saying like, oh, it's available for a year as a way to cover them in case it doesn't sell that well long term. Like if it slows down drastically near the end of the year, they'll probably they could just discontinue it and say, oh no, we only said it was around for a year. It was supposed to be around for a year, but
and the nice thing about their phrasing is all year round could just as easily mean, you know, all year round this year and next year and the year after that and the year after that. Yeah. So on the opposite side of the coin, if it rolls around and it's still here next year, they can just say, yeah, we said it's all year round. It's a win-win for them, and it lets them avoid using the word permanent.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I guess what Tebow was hinting at, something that we forgot to mention it during the news segment. 2-liter Baja Blast. I believe it might be starting to be tested in some areas soon.
Yeah, I'm told that some bottling plants are going to be doing some qualification runs in the next few weeks. I'm stunned, honestly. I was under the impression, I think a lot of people were under the impression that we were never going to get Baja Blast 2 liters. Because Pepsi's really been moving away from doing 2 liters. Right, because I think we only really get them in like original and Code Red, maybe, right?
I believe Voltage is still out there in 2 liters as well, regionally only. I believe Major Melon did get 2 liters. That was the newest 2 liter outside of Uproar, but that one, I believe, is also gone.
Yeah.
But it's exciting that we're finally getting a new 2 liter. And if there's any flavor that deserves to be in a 2 liter, Baja Blast just sounds like the most qualified one.
It definitely makes sense. You know, I think there's a lot of people that underestimate how well Baja Blast does.
Yeah.
Baja Blast basically outsells everything that isn't original Mountain Dew.
Yeah, that makes sense. Baja Blast is just so iconic, despite being so limited to just Taco Bell historically for years.
What's our next myth?
We could talk about Livewire. Livewire is just weird. Regionally speaking, it's not available everywhere. It's mostly available in most of the country in bottles only, with cans getting pretty limited availability throughout the country.
And I did see on the note of cans that I think 2 or 3 regions, you know, when we had those cuts earlier in the year, when Thrashed Apple and Real Sugar and all that got cut. I think 2 or 3 markets that were making Livewire cans cut it. So I think it's pretty much just in the Midwest now.
Yeah, Livewire is not the easiest one to find. And one reason that I've heard time and time again is that, it's because Sunkist is a competitor to Livewire, and a lot of Pepsi bottlers, they make Sunkist, which is Sunkist is like a caffeinated orange soda made by Dr. Pepper. And yeah, a lot of Pepsi bottlers around the country, they make that. But I think there's a contract between Dr. Pepper and some of them, allegedly, that they're not allowed to make competitors if they do make Sunkist or Crush as well. I've heard this from Pepsi employees as well.
Yeah, I've heard it. So I was really skeptical, because the first time I heard about it was almost like a schoolyard rumor just in the Discord
Yeah.
server. It was people literally would just be like, "Oh yeah, the Sunkist Livewire agreement." I'd be like, "What are you talking about?" Like, but I have heard about it from a few Pepsi employees, and I'm I'm kind of willing to subscribe to the theory now.
Yeah, I didn't buy it either. There was like in Montana, in the city of Great Falls, they make Sunkist, and they also make Livewire in cans and bottles. But yeah, I guess it might not apply to that one, and it might apply to other ones. Could be that the local or like the independent ones, they didn't sign that sort of agreement. I think
That could be. It
it
could
really
vary
just
bottler to
depends.
bottler.
Yeah. This is one that we cannot really verify right now, but yeah, if we could have people in the comments or like reach out directly to us, confirm or deny that, depending on your region, that would be very helpful.
And I think we can kind of tie this one in to another one. I think we were going to talk about a myth with 2016's Pitch Black. Lots of people like to say that they changed the formula for Pitch Black.
Yeah, in 2016 they did Decision, which was a voting competition between Baja Blast and Pitch Black becoming permanent. And part of that was that Pitch Black, it did have an updated recipe which removed the brominated vegetable oil that was in it. And I've heard from some people that it tastes different, but I don't really buy that.
I don't agree.
Yeah.
To me, it tastes exactly the same.
And they changed the tagline as well. It went from grape citrus to just dark fruit, I believe.
Yeah.
And then in 2023, it released as dark citrus punch. But I could tell with confidence, though, between 2016 to 2023, there was no change in the recipe. It was still the exact same as it was in 2016.
And I can say with relative confidence, from before 2016 into 2016 and to 2023, it all tastes exactly the same to me. Always the Pitch Black that I know and love.
Yeah. And in Canada, it, since I can get it whenever I want, I do drink it from time to time, and it does taste like grape.
Right.
It still is a grape Mountain Dew. It's not very grape soda like, though. It's like kind of its own thing, but still grape flavored.
So how this kind of ties back to the competitor myth, rumor, whatever that we were talking about before. I have had an employee tell me that part of the reason that the flavor description was changed is to sort of circumvent any competition with Sunkist grape, which would make sense, I guess. Just so that way they can ensure Pitch Black could be everywhere, have no problems anywhere. I guess, we can say, it is actually a grape paper, but it says it's dark citrus punch.
I guess I could see that. And also in Canada, we do like Pepsi produces Pitch Black alongside Crushed Grape. So I could see that being the case. Or it could also just be because grape soda is kind of a love it or hate it sort of flavor.
Yeah.
Pitch Black is more unique than that, and they probably just, it's a way to steer people who might not drink grape soda to try it.
As much as people in the community complain about the amount of punch flavors that Mountain Dew releases, punch flavors always do very well, and that's kind of a term that appeals to consumers in general. So it makes sense that they keep doing it, and I think it makes sense for that reason to add it to Pitch Black's tagline.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Pitch Black, it did spectacularly well last year.
Yes.
Although probably not for that reason.
Yeah.
And I guess we could also just talk about Decision in general. It was a lot of people would call it rigged because Pitch Black, it did win, and then it got discontinued a few years later.
Yeah, lots of people saying, Pepsi lied. They said it'd be permanent.
Yeah, we already touched on this last episode, though. We're permanent. Something being permanent, it's just, if it keeps selling, it'll continue to be permanent. But if it doesn't sell that well, it won't. And we heard from someone on Reddit, a Pepsi employee, that said that Pitch Black was selling worse than Diet Caffeine Free.
Yeah.
Worse than Livewire, worse than Voltage, worse than Code Red, worse than every other flavor. So, yeah, I guess Pitch Black probably doesn't have the same staying power that other flavors have. It was sold a lot just through hype for like Decision 2020 and the 2023 release. Those were very hype-driven sales periods, but then once it was permanent and once there was no reason to fight for Pitch Black anymore, it just kind of died off over time.
Right. It's definitely disappointing. Pitch Black is number 2 on my tier list, but the sales numbers don't lie, and I think it's silly to suggest that Pepsi would sabotage their own sales, like a lot of people do. I don't subscribe to that theory.
I don't know. To me, it just feels weird that something like beat Baja Blast in a vote.
Yeah.
Well, at the same time, I heard that a lot of people were saying that, they voted for Pitch Black because Baja Blast is already available at Taco Bell.
That was a common argument when the promotion was going on. But I also remember, I don't even remember where I saw this, if it was the Discord or what. I remember seeing an employee say that they got Pitch Black winter cans before the promotion was over, and there was never any Baja Blast winter cans.
Yeah, that is very suspicious indeed.
That definitely plays into the was it rigged?
But then at the same time, they killed Baja Blast for a year. Like they didn't bring it back for its annual summer release in 2017.
True.
That could have actually lost, but at least before the results ended, there was those winter cans, which is pretty damning, I guess.
We were going to talk about exclusives too, in terms of myths, weren't we?
Oh yeah, exclusives. Yeah, so exclusives, a lot of myths come out about those.
One of the biggest ones that I have seen is, it seems like a lot of people are under the impression that Pepsi kind of just picks and chooses who they want to give exclusive flavors to. A lot of people, it kind of seems like, Pepsi just takes out a dartboard and throws a dart at a map and, oh, we're giving an exclusive to Food Lion. That's not the case.
Yeah, we already touched upon that on an earlier episode, but for those who don't want to listen to it, exclusives, they come from, it's a collaboration between the brand, the franchise that they're making an exclusive flavor for, and like Pepsi themselves.
And that brand, I think a lot of people don't realize this. When there's an exclusive flavor, that brand is paying for that collaboration. A lot of times, Food Lion is a really good example with Uproar. It got discontinued, and there were so many people that were saying, if it wasn't exclusive to Food Lion, it would have done better. The thing with that is, though, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, they're not looking at, Food Lion, like Uproar, it's selling worse than Baja Blast everywhere. It's selling worse than Voltage everywhere. No, they're looking at the sales numbers of, okay, Uproar does worse than other flavors of Mountain Dew at Food Lion.
Right.
So it's not generating a lot of revenue itself. And when it's not generating a lot of revenue, they'll pull the plug on it.
But the other thing with it, too, is, since the brand is paying for the exclusive, it's a really low bar for Pepsi to make money on that. It's worth it. The brand is paying so much. I don't have exact numbers, but I've been told by a few people that it is worth it for Pepsi to just make the flavor for that chain, and if they released it everywhere, that they wouldn't make as much money on it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And a lot of times also, it is not Pepsi's decision to pull the plug on the exclusives. For example, Thrashed Apple was Kroger's decision to pull the plug on that.
Thrashed Apple didn't seem like the biggest seller. I mean, I thought it was doing okay, but didn't seem like a huge seller.
This kind of plays into a myth of its own too. I saw it sit on the shelves a lot. But also I kind of feel like, just one's own personal experience of going in and seeing the shelves, that's not really indicative of how something's doing necessarily,
Yeah. Like, oh no, I'm seeing citrus cherry on the shelves, failure flavor,
rip bozo.
Yep.
I just had someone today tell me that zero sugar sells better than full sugar because they see full sugar on the shelf and not zero sugar. But just because it's not there doesn't mean it's not there because it's not selling.
Yeah.
I don't get Livewire 12 packs in my area. Does that mean they're selling because they're not there? They're not there because they sold out?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you can't really tell sales numbers just by seeing what's on the shelf. The only people that know the sales numbers are the people that have access to the actual numbers.
Right.
That's just seeing something, just making an observation one day. That's nothing definitive.
It's very anecdotal. I mean, while it is valid, it's a valid observation, it's not
conclusive, and it's not representative of anything that has happened.
Exactly.
Or not representative of global sales numbers, national sales numbers. It's only representative of what you're seeing in front of you or at that store.
There's some people that could go into their store right now and see perfect example in Illinois right now. There are pallets upon pallets of the Baja spinoffs that are on sale right now for 10 cents each.
Wow. Failure flavor right there.
I would buy so many bottles of Point Break Punch if I could. But someone could go in and see that and come to a conclusion about Laguna Lemonade and Point Break Punch, whereas I haven't seen them in a month. So it's I feel like, obviously it's good, it's cool to have your own personal observations, but it's not only not reflective of your state, but it's definitely not reflective of the flavor as a whole.
And a lot of like these stores, I think some of them they just order way too much product and more product than what they're gonna sell. And other stores might order less than what they could sell. So it all depends. There's a lot of moving parts to these like soda distributions.
Was that it for the myths?
Yeah. Oh wait, there's one more. One thing that I
Oh, cool.
hear a lot about from like some people. There's just a lot of misconception for Canada specifically, where a lot of people they assume that in Canada they don't use high fructose corn syrup. I've heard some people
Oh,
say
yes.
high fructose corn syrup is banned, and other times I hear that no, they make like Pepsi and stuff with real sugar, but that is not true. So I'm looking right now at this FAQ for Pepsi Canada. It's contact.pepsico.com/PepsiCA/facts. And it says, in Canada, the type of sugar used in our soft drinks varies. The majority of our bottlers use high fructose corn syrup. So, Canadian Mountain
Black
Dew.
and white.
Yeah, it uses high fructose corn syrup, but people don't know this because the ingredients label says glucose fructose instead of high fructose corn syrup. That is just a difference with how the Canadian ingredients lists present.
They listed the dyes differently too, don't they?
Yeah, Red 40 is Allura Red. I heard from someone who thought that Red 40 is banned in Canada. No, it is not. It is called Allura Red. Blue 1 is called Brilliant Blue. And I think yellow number 5 is called Tartrazine. I don't know how to pronounce that, but
Interesting.
yeah, the food colorings they use different names.
Now, is it true that one of the provinces does use real sugar?
Yes, that is true actually. The bottler called Browning Harvey Limited, which is in Newfoundland and Labrador, they do use real sugar as far as I'm aware. They proudly say that they use real sugar. They use real sugar as far as I'm aware. But they don't have every flavor of Mountain Dew available. They don't have Baja Blast, I believe. They don't have. I think Code Red was a limited time flavor. So
I mean, I guess it makes sense, if it's real sugar. At that point, they're kind of having to make their own formula. It's not like they can take it from the United States or from the rest of Canada.
yeah, I'd imagine it might just have something to do with maybe they're getting a concentrate that doesn't have sweetener in it, and then they're adding the sweetener at the factory. That could be it. I don't really know for sure.
It's too bad they don't have Baja Blast. I'd be interested to try real sugar Baja Blast.
Yeah, I think that'd be the most popular thing.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that does sound pretty good, but I actually, in some cases, I prefer the high fructose corn syrup version of some drinks, like Mountain Dew Real Sugar. I'm not a huge fan of.
I'm not either.
I don't really like Pepsi Zero Sugar either. I mean Pepsi Real Sugar either. But Mexican Coke, that one's good.
When I was comparing the original Mountain Dew to the Canadian Mountain Dew, I don't even think I don't want to say I don't like original Mountain Dew, but I don't think that I like the orange juice in Mountain Dew. We were talking in the last episode how Canada removed the orange juice concentrate from original, and I think it tastes so much better without it.
That's interesting.
Which is really interesting.
There's another new thing that I forgot that released. The Soda Stream Mountain Dew syrups.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, so it's in both Canada and the USA actually. where they have Mountain Dew syrups now, in addition to the Pepsi and Starry ones. Or in Canada, we have the 7-Up ones instead of Starry. But yeah, there's 3 flavors. There's the regular Mountain Dew, the Diet Mountain Dew, and Zero Sugar Mountain Dew. All 3 of them actually do have concentrated orange juice in it.
In Canada too?
Not in Canada. But in the US, the Zero Sugar one has orange juice as well, which I find really interesting.
That is weird.
Mountain Dew Zero doesn't have orange juice.
That is really cool that, they're finally doing SodaStream for Mountain Dew. I'd really like to see that expand to more flavors. That seems like an untapped opportunity here. Like they could do discontinued flavors. They could do different flavors. Like there's a lot they could do with that. And maybe they're just testing the waters.
Yeah, they're probably just testing the waters. There's like I think Mountain Dew syrups in Germany or like other parts of Europe that was a thing there, but
Right.
Yeah, it took them this long until now to finally get Mountain Dew syrups here in the West though, or what North America.
Right.
But yeah, in Canada we just have the regular and the Zero Sugar syrups, and I tried them. The Zero Sugar one, it does taste like Mountain Dew Zero Sugar, which I was actually kind of disappointed by. The 7-Up Zero one that they have is really good, but the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar, it tastes like the same formula pretty much, but it isn't actually the same formula. It doesn't have aspartame. And then the regular Mountain Dew, it tasted like fountain Mountain Dew specifically.
Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Kind of a bad thing actually for me, because I had to like when I was younger, I used to get like the double gulps, the 64-ounce 7-Eleven cups. I would actually fill it with Mountain Dew, and then I would fill a 2-liter bottle at home with it, and then fill 20-ounce bottles with that, drink that, but then I drank too much of it, and then I couldn't drink it anymore.
Understandable.
Yeah, that was too much. And now I can't drink fountain Mountain Dew ever again. Well, I can, but I won't enjoy it. I did something similar with Crush Lime, where I would just drink the whole thing in one sitting.
I don't blame you with Crush Lime though.
I still love
that
Crush
sounds
Lime.
awesome.
But yeah, actually one thing I will recommend with the Mountain Dew SodaStream syrup, get like one of those bottles, put in a cup, put 1 ounce of it in there, and then just fill the rest of it with a can of bubbly. Thank me later. Specifically the lemon sorbet one. That one's really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that.
It kind of tastes like a Mountain Dew flavor of lemon sorbet.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it was really good, but I used my last can for it, and that flavor is not available in Canada.
I guess it is worth mentioning, of course. We mentioned that patriotic flavors, of course, right around the corner, as well. I know we talked about this last time, but Infinite Swirl is right around the corner too.
Oh yeah, we completely forgot Infinite Swirl.
A few speedways in Ohio were doing some sampling, I think a week or two ago. Nowhere close to me, unfortunately. I think it was like a 4-hour drive for me, so I wasn't about to do that.
Wow.
I'm very excited about Infinite Swirl, though. I've, we've seen some people that have tried it, and I've seen people saying that it is pineapple strawberry. So that is a W for strawberry enjoyers.
Yeah, like you.
Yes. And also a W potentially for Typhoon enjoyers. We might have some blue Typhoon on our hands.
Yep. Yeah, as far as we know, I don't think anyone who has tried it yet has tried Typhoon, so we can't verify it yet, but we will soon. Next episode we'll give an update on that.
Also, just, in terms of other soda news, I guess we could mention Pineapple Pepsi coming back to Little Caesars at the same time as everything else.
I love that flavor. I hope more people try it.
I think it's a way bigger run this time. I think it's like either 24 or 32. It's a huge LTO window. Last year it was like 12 weeks, but it's a ridiculous size LTO window. I think it runs from June until November. So plenty of time to grab it.
Yeah, definitely grab it while you can for sure.
Bottles this year instead of cans, which
You're getting more soda, you're getting it resealable, but it's not as easy to keep for years and years.
And then the other thing, speaking of bubbly, Target is getting their own exclusive bubbly flavor.
Why can't we get a Mountain Dew exclusive Target flavor? No, Target exclusive Mountain Dew flavor.
Yeah, I'm lucky to even see Baja Blast there.
Actually, no. Last time I was in the US, I actually bought most of my Mountain Dews at Target. I was surprised at how much variety they had, like all the Baja flavors, and it was on sale at a better price than the Kroger. But beyond that, Mountain Dew and Target are not the best mix, and I don't see why it would need a Mountain Dew exclusive. Target is a bit more like upscale than Walmart. Walmart makes perfect sense for an exclusive, but Target, it's like the people who shop there are a bit more health conscious, I think.
I think it makes sense that Target wants a bubbly exclusive and not a Mountain Dew exclusive.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense for sure.
I'm trying to remember what exactly the bubbly is called. It's like melted ice pop or something like that.
I think it's just called Ice Pop.
I think it'll probably be decent. I'm kind of critical of bubbly in general, but that's just because I don't really like sparkling drinks. But now you have me curious about how that would taste mixed with the SodaStream Mountain Dew syrup, because I bet that would be good.
One thing I'm kind of thinking of is like pineapple coconut bubbly. That one tastes a lot like Baja Flash. So would the Ice Pop taste a lot like Summer Freeze? Could be based on it, because I'm at least like 95% sure that pineapple coconut bubbly is based on Baja Flash. It has like almost the exact same flavor. It's just in a different form factor.
I think you're not the first person to say that either. I feel like I've seen other people say that as well.
All right, well, thank you so much for watching the Team Supernova podcast. I'm Darn.
I'm Tebow.
Yeah, please check us out on YouTube or Spotify if you're not watching the video version already. But of course, we're always going to be available on whatever other podcasting platforms you listen to us on. If there's a platform that we're not on that you guys want us to be on, then just let us know. We'll get that sorted out for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, we'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks for watching.